Not played a single Assassin's Creed game until now? Or maybe you just want a quick primer on Odyssey. Here's everything you need to know before heading to ancient Greece. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is almost here to take us to an ancient Greek world of Spartans and mythical monsters, and probably to dive into some well-placed haycarts. Given that we're now 11 years into the franchise, there's more lore than you can throw a hidden blade at, and if this is your first Creed, it might be a little intimidating. Even if you've been following the free-running stab 'em up since day dot though, you might need a quick primer to get you up to speed. Well, helpfully, I've broken it down into handy chunks. Just don't think what they're made of, eh? Oh, and expect spoilers for the last decade of hooded madness. Here's everything you need to know before playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So, let's get the setting out of the way first. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is taking us to ancient Greece, the earliest ever historical point for the franchise. The Animus is cranking all the way back to the year 431 BC, a full 400 years before Assassin's Creed Origins, the official beginning of the Creed and the story of Bayek and Aya. This means Odyssey is literally breaking fresh historical ground, and means Ubi can nicely slide in the character choice between Cassandra and Alexios. Both are mercenaries known as Misthios, armed with a serious Spartan kick. Ooh, nice. And can both have exactly the same experiences. No matter who you choose, you'll have romance, opening and closing quest lines, and the same ship, the Adrestia, to take to the Greek seas with flaming arrows and javelin-throwing crew members. So how does it work that after a decade of having one character per game, we can now actively choose? Well, it's all about science, of course. The Animus, the minimalist device developed to let its users experience the memories of their genetic ancestors, has previously only been able to work with an active and alive user. This was how we got to Renaissance Italy and saw the world through Ezio Auditore via Desmond Miles. This has all changed though. In AC Origins modern day sequences, Layla Hassan, Abstergo technician gone rogue, develops an Animus that doesn't require a human participant, only DNA, hence why she could plug in a piece of Bayek or a fragment from Aya's mummified corpse. The DNA apparently uncovered for Odyssey is so old that it could be one of two characters. We're definitely in the Jurassic Park school of DNA here, but regardless, it all adds up to our very welcome choice between Cassandra and Alexios. But why ancient Greece? Sure, Ubi probably wanted a chance to sail these azure seas and battle on the white sands of Greek island beaches, but the answer to why now lies in the left hand of Cassandra and Alexios. Instead of Bayek's ridiculously useful shield, this pair have the broken spear of Leonidas, which means the most fun combat that the Creed has ever seen. Building on the more complex combat of Origins with light and heavy attacks, Odyssey throws in superpowers. Yep, superpowers. Fill in a gold bar on screen and you'll see the powers that the ex-spear of King Leonidas will unlock. These include that Spartan kick, a glorious shield break, and other ridiculously Avengers-style moves that can be upgraded. But why in a world of historical accuracy are we delving into magic and sorcery now? Well, the truth is that the Assassin's Creed series always has. No matter which entry you play, there's always been the presence of those who came before. This is a pre-human ancient race who were pretty much wiped out by a solar flare in an event known as the First Catastrophe, and they actually created humanity as a significantly more rubbish version of themselves. This race, also called the Isu, crafted the Pieces of Eden, which are basically a collection of powerful devices to control humanity, and that's what the Assassins and Templars have been fighting over for millennia. These include a sword owned by King Arthur, yep, Excalibur was a piece of Eden, and the Crystal Skulls. See, everything you know is a lie. But yes, the broken spear of Leonidas is absolutely a piece of Eden, and it looks like the modern day assassins are probably on the hunt for it. If you're wondering why, it's time to look at how we ended up here. There's no way that I'm going to manage to feed a decade of Assassin's lore into your head in a way that isn't going to make you feel like you've spent 10 years too long in the Animus, but let's try just for the fun of it. Since the first Assassin's Creed, we've been on the tail of those who came before, uncovering their mystical underground vaults around the world, arguing over their pieces of Eden, and letting one of them out onto the internet. Yep, at the end of Assassin's Creed 3, long after he'd given us Ezio and killed spy Abstergo agent Lucy Stillman, Desmond sacrificed himself to save the world, and unleashed a member of the Isu, Juno, out into the digital world to wreak havoc. Juno takes a Thanos approach to humans and wants to save them from themselves, which isn't exactly helpful. She even got her body back in the AC graphic novels, but I digress. This eternal battle between the Assassins and Templars for the control of the Pieces of Eden means that we've been to Italy, Constantinople, Masyaf, North America, France, the Caribbean, London and Egypt. The world is scattered with vaults and artefacts, and now we'll literally be playing with one as our main weapon. Speaking of main weapons, here's the next game changer. Assassin's Creed Odyssey doesn't give you a hidden blade, the staple stabber of the sneaky brotherhood, because, well, you're not actually an assassin. Sure, you can put your hood up, because Ubi's learned since the fan reaction to only having your hood up in stealth mode in Syndicate, but you can also wear a helmet that will probably make you want to scream, "Are you not entertained?" at least once every 15 minutes. No hidden blade is a serious change for the series, but it doesn't stop Alexios and Cassandra sneaking up and slaughtering in a way that Ezio would be proud of. Well, will be proud of. But of course, there is going to be a story involving the hidden blade. When Aya handed the gauntlet to Bayek in AC Origins, she told him that it was what was used to kill the tyrant King Xerxes. Well, that took place in the year 465 BC, so practically seconds before the events of Odyssey. Persian proto-assassin Darius was responsible for this particular murder, and Odyssey's first DLC will introduce us to him. The Legacy of the First Blade will be out in December and be an episodic series that will apparently tell us even more about the Brotherhood's backstory and the origins of the iconic weapon. There are two types of Assassin's Creed fan. The ones who are just there for the historical world, and the ones who read every single piece of lore and troll in-game computers for Easter eggs, wishing that they had actual eagle vision. Let's get this straight. One isn't better than the other. We're not Assassins and Templars. Just consider us to be different wings of the Brotherhood. Everything is permitted after all. The good news is that for those who don't want to dive into piles of Abstergo emails, the modern corporate front of the Templar Order, you really don't have to. Ubisoft has already said that the modern day element will be there, hopefully complete with Danny Wallace and co this time around. But there's no need to spend too much time in 2018 if you really don't want to. Origins modern day elements were minimal, but they readied the new Animus and took Ubi out of a narrative corner that they'd backed themselves into. For lore fans though, Origins was practically Christmas, with plenty of links to previous entries in Layla's laptop. They even mentioned that she'd been the one responsible for the Animus design in the Michael Fassbender starring movie.
Enough! We're not talking about her.
Sure.
Another bold move for the Creed this time around is that we'll be able to make decisions that genuinely matter to the story.
I came here to help you deal with one man, not go to war.
Odyssey actually has multiple endings, meaning it's almost guaranteed that you'll be jumping in at least twice to see exactly what could happen. This is the first time that history has had any choice involved. Let's ignore the fact that that sentence doesn't make any sense. While there are set historical beats here, and you'll never be able to change the outcomes of known wars or the fate of certain important historical characters, no, you can't shoot Socrates in the head, stop trying. This is a refreshing and somewhat intimidating change for the franchise. And just because those figures from history can't shuffle off the mortal coil early, characters in side missions and quests will definitely be at the mercy of your choices. It sounds like the confirmed New Game Plus mode is going to be vital. Maybe it's a good thing then that Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot has confirmed that the series will be getting a year off in 2019. 2020 will be our next big Assassin's Creed release, so you definitely have long enough to take your time here. Sure, it's going to be hundreds of hours long with a story longer than Origins and a map even bigger, but of course this is just the beginning of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. The Season Pass includes the aforementioned Legacy of the First Blade, but also a second story arc called The Fate of Atlantis, where we'll be taking on godlike mythical creatures. This sounds a lot like Origins Curse of the Pharaohs DLC, which opened up the underworld and a whole pile of really angry giant scorpions. Yep, those pieces of Eden definitely sound like they'll be involved again, and Ubisoft has said that we'll get even closer to the first civilization, so perhaps my Isu rantings here will have been worth something. Outside of the Season Pass though, there will be free content just like Origins. The Lost Tales of Greece are coming in as add-on story, and there will be daily and weekly in-game events with epic ships and high-powered mercenaries. If you do go for the Season Pass though, you'll also get Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered as well as Assassin's Creed Liberation if you missed them the first time around. Finally, and potentially the most exciting of all though, if you just want to spend some quality time in ancient Greece, is the Discovery mode. This means the whole country becomes a beautiful museum, complete with historical tours that you can happily show your parents as if you were learning things the whole time. Ah, history. I do love you.
Yeah?
me. Please.
So there you have it, everything you need to know before grabbing your spear and picking up Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Let me know what you're excited about in the comments below, drop us a like if you want more Assassin's Creed coverage on release, and don't forget to subscribe to Logitech G for more videos just like this one.